Hey everyone, and welcome to this little, well, maybe little, I have no idea, discussion video. I am Robuscus. With me today is Richard,
Hello, how are you?
and we're going to be talking about a certain trailer that came out that we're both pretty invested in, I would say. Um,
Just a little.
just a little. Um, and of course, I'm talking about Transformers 1. This is, yeah. Um, this is going to be interesting. Because
I'll say.
okay, so I'm curious. So we've known about this movie coming out for quite some time now. I'm curious, what were your like thoughts, reactions, expectations, like when we were like kind of being told like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna get an animated Transformers movie eventually. That's gonna be on Cybertron.
I think my expectations for it were just finally
Yeah, really. Yeah, so
we're getting to go on Cybertron.
yeah,
There are no humans, so there you go.
yeah. So
And the most intriguing thing about it to me and you, because you even said this in your video, is it's an origin story that focuses on the friendship of D16 and Orion Pax
yeah,
before they became Optimus and Megatron.
yeah. It's funny because I have a friend from school, who would who asked me at one point, like, this was before, I'm pretty sure this was before like Bumblebee came out, so this was like a long ass time ago. Um, but he asked me like, what, like, if you were to make a Transformers movie, what would you make? Or like, what kind of stories do you want to see be done? You know, and my after thinking on it, my answer was basically what we're getting here. It was that I want to see, like, we always hear, like, there's always this lore of like Cybertron in its golden age. Um, like, it's this peaceful planet, but the government is super corrupt and yada yada yada. We always hear it. We don't really ever see it. We see it in the comics, but no one reads the comics. I'm, I'm actually, I'm pretty sure I'm joking.
No, but it's true. Nobody reads funny books, as me and my group of friends like to say.
um, so like, I mean, the closest I can think of is that we kind of get like still images of it in Transformers Prime. Um, like, we kind of see, like, when Ratchet is explaining how Orion became Optimus, like, we see Orion and his relationship with Megatron, and how Megatron was kind of like a mentor to him. Um, and like, that's cool and all, but like, those are stills. Those are like storybook, you know.
Yes.
um, so what I was looking for this whole time, a storybook. Um, like, I want to actually watch it, you know, like, make it a series, make it a movie. Oh my God, they're making it a movie.
Yes.
Um, like I wanted to see stuff before the war, because we always see stuff
Hmm.
in the middle of the war or after the war. Um, but we
There's never been that period where we see it before.
yeah. So this movie promises to give us that. Um, so when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God! Okay, cool." Like, that's exactly uh, what I was hoping for out of a Transformers movie. And I mean, we'll get more into it later. but then the casting got announced. Like
Oh yeah.
the voice cast got announced, and immediately I was like, oh. um, Because you know, coming off the heels of the Mario movie, like this was the casting for this was announced like literally like I want to say a month or two after the Mario movie came out.
Something like that. Yeah, I would say.
Um, and like, don't get me wrong, I like the Mario movie. The Mario movie's good. But I will always say that I don't like it when they put in uh, celebrities as voice actors. Um, I mean, okay, I guess I should have said this before we really got into it. I am fighting a bit of an itchy throat, so if you hear me coughing a lot, that's why. Um, so I hope you can just kind of deal with it. It's super funny. I feel totally fine otherwise. Like you
I love
think
that feeling.
like you'd think like, oh, you have an itchy throat, that means uh like maybe your head's gonna start hurting or you're just gonna feel drowsy. No, I'm like I mean on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my voice was like leaving me. Like Saturday, gone. I was pretty much unable to talk at all.
Yeah.
But but now it's like, I mean, I can talk now, obviously. Yeah. So, anyways, so for the longest time, I was basically like, whenever I would see the question asked, like, what are your thoughts on Transformers One? Because, I mean, for the longest time, this movie got like no marketing at all.
No,
Um,
it didn't. It was sort of still being kept in the dark. All we knew is what the premise was. We knew what the cast was, but we didn't know. Okay, but what is? We don't even know what the movie's going to look like.
yeah.
So that was very that didn't arouse confidence. I would
No.
say in
And like,
this movie.
I mean, like, it's funny because I say zero marketing, and I'm reminded of another Transformers thing, that upcoming video game, Transformers Reactivate. Um, if you remember that, um,
I vaguely yes.
um, like that game got a trailer at the Game Awards, and that was basically it. Um, um, but even like that game, like we had we had like toys come out for that, or maybe they're not out, but like we at least have an idea of what like a couple of the characters look like. So there's that.
Yes.
Um, this movie didn't have that. It had that one teaser with like our four main characters looking off into the city, like in silhouette form, which is like neat, but can I see them, please?
Yes. Yes. Well, your wish was granted because CinemaCon happened a couple of weeks ago, and they were showing off a bunch of trailers, footage for movies that were almost done, and they had one for Transformers One. And I read when Paramount came on, and I saw that they're now showing the Transformers One trailer. Everybody was saying, oh, "This is awesome! Like this looks good. This is something that we've never seen before." And then I was like, "Okay, well, now we just wait." And then, like a couple of days later, they just decided to drop the trailer. They had a big live stream. They had a big live stream event for it and everything. Where for some reason,
Launched a space probe or some shit.
yeah, exactly. And then you could see it on a space probe. It's like,
Like
okay,
I didn't watch the stream because they were streaming while I was at work, but like, I was like,
I caught it.
but I heard that announcement. I was like, okay, that's odd.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
I caught it towards the end when they were just about to launch the trailer.
I mean, like, I guess that's one way to make up for the lack of marketing. Just launch your marketing into outer space. Sure.
There you go. Exactly. Why not? It's okay. So you and I have seen the trailer, and obviously everyone else has seen the trailer. I mean, the day it came out, it's trending on Twitter, and so clearly we've all seen the trailer, and the trailer has been a interesting topic of discussion.
Yeah.
I think mixed is the right word I'm looking for here when it comes to the trailer. So yeah, the trailer gives us what we wanted. It's like, hey, you get to be on. We're on Cybertron. We're in the Golden Age. Optimus Prime and Megatron are not those people yet. They're Orion Pax and B-16, or I'm sorry, D-6, and they're just buddies. That's kind of the main focal point this trailer is trying to hammer. It's like this is going to be about the friendship of these characters and how in the future you will see where they landed.
Yeah.
And I guess now the only thing is, what did we think of the trailers? Before we get into dissecting it.
I think the trailer was fine. Like I have no major issues with it. Like just as a trailer, I'm like it doesn't give too much away, I don't think.
No.
And like there's some little things you can pick up on here and there if you look really hard enough. Some surprise character appearances that I wasn't expecting. We'll get to that later.
Oh yeah. I would say that in the same line, more or less.
I don't know. It's kind of a feel good trailer, honestly. That's kind of how I describe it.
It is. I'd say that the main thing that is keeping me invested is the friendship between our two leads, and seeing them actually get to transform, because that is something this movie is tackling that I don't believe in all 40 years that the franchise has been around. They're now tackling what is it like when you first transform? Like, how does it? Do you just do it automatically? Is there a learning curve to it? And if so, like, how does it feel when you're transforming halfway? That's kind of what this trailer does. So, and they make transforming like the next step in their evolution, because it is, and that's very, very interesting. And obviously the trailer, we see that it's about a group of four Transformers that are just trying to get to the surface, because that's another thing they point out is they're trying to get somewhere. So yeah, I like what the trailer is doing. It's not it's giving you just enough to where you can kind of understand what they're trying to tell, but at the same time, also there's also that little bit of, I really don't want to call it MCU slice of humor, but there is also that going on, because they kind of they want this trailer to hit people, and they want it to captivate them. So the trailer is going through a bit of all the emotions on the spectrum to try and get you to want to go see this. So complete with an 80s song choice. Because why not?
It's certainly a choice, all right. Um,
hmm Yeah. I mean, I rewatched the trailer multiple times, and I like it. It has grown on me, but I can see the mixed reactions. I can understand the people not being overly excited when they look at this trailer.
yeah,
But if you're a diehard fan, there's definitely a lot to dissect and talk about.
yeah. Well, speaking of dissecting, I guess we can just get right into that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, basically the trailer opens up and okay, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna be I guess I should probably be calling them Optimus and Megatron, but they are technically Orion and D16, so meh. I don't know. I'll just say Optimus and
I'll just
Megatron.
call them D for short.
I'll just say Optimus and Megatron for simplicity's sake. Um,
Okay.
um, and they're just sitting there. I guess they're in like a detention center or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they got in trouble. It looks like they broke some rules.
I wonder if this has something to do with something else we'll see in the trailer.
Maybe.
And then giant honking other Transformer shows up, who I really feel like I should know the name of, but I don't.
I really feel like that's supposed to be. Is that not supposed to be Sentinel Prime?
I mean,
because we know Sentinel Prime is in this.
Yeah. I mean, if that is him, it looks nothing like him. So, I don't know. It's a really, really deep voice, though, so there's that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's John Hamm, right? He's got a voice. It's awesome.
I feel like I remember seeing someone on Twitter who does more for this movie's marketing than Hasbro did. Being like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is," and I'm trying to find this guy.
Well, if you do, we'll definitely come back to that. But yeah, so we do see D and Orion. They're in trouble for something that happened, and they're sent now to the lower levels, where now they're just grunts doing the hard labor, and that's where they meet B.
Yep, they're sticking with this. It's so funny because the director said that this is its own thing. It's not tied to any of the other movies. So it's kind of funny to me that they're keeping the whole B127 thing. Maybe that's a thing in the comics. I don't know,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then
he just like
later
okay.
on, yeah.
I gotta say, it is what the kids these days call MCU humor, but
yes.
But I do love Bumblebee's it's Bumblebee, obviously.
Yeah.
Like his just sudden voice change. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the whole badass system.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that caught me off guard when I first watched it.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's either Keegan-Michael Key improving or that's intended like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we meet D, and then later on, it's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I found the guy. Apparently, the guy at the beginning is Darkwing.
Darkwing. Okay. Well, damn.
Okay. Cool. Anyways,
Yeah.
I do gotta wonder real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm rewatching the trailer in slow motion right now, and it's kind of got me thinking, like, because like I'm pretty sure everybody on Earth like at least knows who Optimus Prime is. Like he's like one of the most popular characters in like anything ever. But
True.
how many people do you think are gonna watch this movie having no idea that his original name was Orion Pax?
Probably a lot. I'm confident in that.
Yeah. I mean, the character Orion Pax has been a thing since G1. But obviously, like newer Transformers fans, they're not gonna give a shit about G1.
Absolutely not. Not at all.
I will say I do kind of like how they're keeping the whole idea of Megatron being a miner, or at least I think that was Megatron mining that like ore near the beginning.
Yes.
Either way. Okay, then there's a shot of like Optimus, Megatron, and Bumblebee over top this like crowd, and I kind of want to talk about these guys because some insiders have kind of given us a clue as to who these guys are, because these are, if you look closely, they actually do resemble established characters.
Ooh.
Like they're not just random bots for the sake of being random bots. Like people have pointed out. Maybe I'll put this this particular shot on screen and like point to each one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I mean, for the sake of, I'll do that for the sake of the video, but for the sake of this Discord call, here you go.
Okay.
You can see my mouse, right?
Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Okay. Like I think this might be Hound down here. If you look really closely. I wish I could zoom in, but I can't. One of these two yellow guys is probably Brawn. I'm leaning towards this guy.
Yeah.
This particular frame doesn't do it any justice, but this is 100% Jazz.
Yeah, I can see that being Jazz. Yeah. He's sort of got that color scheme going on.
Yeah. Wonder if I can. There you go. That looks better. Oh my god, my throat. I'm so sorry to anybody who watches this and can't stand that noise, but the show must go on, right? I mean, for all we know, these might just be random people, but
Yeah.
like resemble, like just as like a nod. Like we're probably not. I wouldn't place too much hope in seeing any more of these guys than just this.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree.
it was just a fun little thing.
Oh no, yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, I guess if we have some time since this is taking. I mean, I have it in slow motion, so obviously, but
No, it's okay.
But I guess since we have some time, I'll just say, God, this movie is beautiful.
Oh no, absolutely. I do want to say that so it was revealed that the animation services of this movie will be done by the same studio that did Wall-E and Rango.
Yeah.
And I do gotta say, I love how this movie looks, just on the visuals alone. Especially, there's a shot at the end with B, that when you see it up close, it's a small detail, but you can see it. Whenever B's moving his arms around, you can see the reflection in his torso you can see him moving his arms, like they're actually moving them, and that's very very impressive. Also, you do get to see the battle damage and the scuff marks and kind of scratch and tear they're going through. So I like that detail that they're not just going to be clean; they will go through their share of battle damage in the movie, which is very good. And also the designs look pretty good. Orion, B, Alita, they look great, almost identical, if not similar, to their G1 counterparts. And D16, he kind of looks like what Megatron would go on to be. Like it's almost uncanny. Like you can consider this like the proto form of Megatron. And there's definitely a lot of and also too the feet work for Orion. It looks like the way the feet are designed. It looks similar to the Fall of Cybertron game, where they had kind of those big bulky feet with kind of, I don't want to say the lines, but they had those little tiles of metal. All joined together at the bottom of their feet.
Yeah.
So clearly they've taken inspiration from the classic G1 designs for these character models.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like the things they're supposed to look like. So at the end of the day, that's a win.
Good enough for me. Like as long as they're recognizable, if they're recognizable, I'm chilling.
Exactly. Even the environments look pretty good. Like Paramount clearly threw money at this movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of plant life for being on a metal planet.
Yes, and I love what the surface looks like when we get to it. It looks very good. Almost Earth-like, I would say, but not too Earth-like because they're clearly animals on Cybertron on the upper surfaces that are made out of metal. So that's very cool. I like that concept that Cybertron has all the makings of an Earth adjacent planet, but it's just metal.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I guess we never really like fully established how life on Cybertron works. I guess everyone just kind of assumed it's a planet that's entirely metal, but like maybe that's not true.
No, because
it's just the
obviously
organic life is metal.
Yeah, the organic life is metal, and obviously there are some architecture choices that are clearly metal. But then when you get to the upper levels, like they're trying to go to, you can actually see that, oh wow, there's actual forest. There's clearly non-metal material, there's clearly non-metal material around them. But then it jumps straight back to, oh, and look at that, there are some animals that are metal. So it's kind of a little bit of both, and I appreciate that. And I also just love the action sequences in this movie. Obviously, there's a few going on. They clearly look. They thankfully, hopefully the trailer. Hopefully this isn't a contradiction, but I really hope the action and the choreograph stays this clean and this close, because Transformers action sequences have not exactly been represented well. So maybe now that we're focusing on a younger group of Transformers, and we can sort of just show the action. It doesn't have to be chopped up and added with some bits of shaky cam going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to the animation itself real quick, since you mentioned this is done by the same people who made like WALL-E. So when I heard that, I was like, so can we just get like a Transformers movie in the style of WALL-E? Like that sounds freaking awesome. But then like so many people were like, oh, but what if they do like the whole stylized animation like what Spider-Verse did, and I'm like, oh god. Like
Tempting, but no, that doesn't work.
like I said this in my reaction, which yes, I did do a reaction to this trailer, but I'm honestly getting so tired of this like idea of like, oh, it's an animated movie. It's gotta be like in that stylized Spider-Verse style animation, right? Like don't get me wrong, like I like Spider-Verse, but I'm just like everyone keeps talking about that style of animation as if it's like this big unique thing, and like when Spider-Verse came out, it was. But then like everybody started doing it, and I'm just I feel like it's losing its charm. Like freaking, I mean, Puss in Boots did it. Granted, Puss in Boots is a really good movie, but still, Puss in Boots did it. Ninja Turtles did it. Disney did it with some movie that no one really gave a shit about.
Yeah.
Like I think it was Wish. Was that the movie?
Yeah.
That used it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that movie came out and no one watched it. No, and the people who did watch it did not care for it one bit.
There you go.
So I'm just like, can we like not anymore? Like,
Exactly.
So I'm so happy that this movie isn't doing that.
Oh, same.
Anyways, so I got to a shot that I kind of want to talk about because I was like super gung ho about it in my reaction. But there's this shot of Megatron kneeling over this. It's when they say he was D16.
Yes.
Like holding his hand up to Decepticon logo, or what will become the Decepticon logo. Actually, now that I think about it, what would this represent beforehand?
Yeah, because he is wearing a Decepticon insignia. D16 is. He's wearing that insignia, but
well, he's got like a space on his shoulder where one could be, and it's like conveniently in the shape, but like it's not actually that, at least not yet.
No, yeah.
I said in my reaction I thought it was Tarn. Cause like that's straight up the mask that Tarn has in the comics.
Yeah. Okay.
But obviously it can't be that. But okay.
Yeah. I do like that we are going to get to see D16. Maybe that's gonna. I'm thinking that's either going to be, I don't know, maybe halfway into the movie, maybe in the middle portion. We're going to see him while he's in the Force before they get the ability to transform. Maybe he discovers that, and he sees that badge and the logo, and maybe that spark. No pun intended here, but that something sparks in him.
I guess since nothing else in the trailer at the moment is like really sticking out to me as like a shot I really want to talk about. So I guess since we're on the topic of D16, I kind of want to like dip our toes a little bit into the voice cast.
Sure, let's do it.
I don't want to go full into it just yet, but I in particular I want to talk about Megatron. Because I have some things to say.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me preface right out the gate. Obviously we'll get into specifics later, but I do think the voice cast so far, from what we've heard, is overall pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that two of them, or it helps that three of them have done voice acting before. Scarlett Johansson has done voice acting, so she sounds good as Alita 1. You can kind of hear a little bit of her real voice, but she's doing good. And Keegan Michael Keel, or Keegan Michael Key, sorry.
Yeah.
He's also done voice acting before as well. And he brings his usual Keeganisms to this role, mainly with B127, and I'm not gonna lie. I know the majority of the complaints come from him because of how he's doing his movie. They definitely, but I was just reminded of this today. B127 has always been kind of the I don't want to say the immature one, but he's always had that childlike cockiness to him, where he's just wanting to get out and have an adventure and get into some fun shenanigans and what have you. So he has a kind of naive, brash attitude.
I mean, it was like the kid Autobot in G1.
Yeah. So even the way he's even his mannerisms come off as, oh, just imagine this is supposed to be I guess we could say this is supposed to be a teenage adolescence Bumblebee in the making.
Yeah, sure.
and what better voice to represent that than get Keegan Michael Key? Which, again, nothing against Key. I like Key's performances very much. He was great in Wonka. He was great in Key and Peele. He is funny. He's very fucking funny. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like, okay, they're really trying a little too hard with this stuff, especially the whole Badassatron name. I really feel like, okay, that's laying it on a little thick. And especially the end where he's being B127, I guess. He's just being him. I don't know. I'm getting used to it, but I cannot say that most of the people's complaints come from just how ham-fisted the comedy segments are. And I really hope, and I get the feeling that Bumblebee or B127 is going to be at the epicenter of that. Like, he's the comedy in all of this.
Yeah, probably.
Made my peace with that.
That all being said, Brian Tyree Henry is kind of bothering me.
Okay, so yes, Brian Tyree Henry. Okay, so not a bad choice to play Megatron on paper. I'm gonna wait until the movie comes out, but I've seen the criticisms and I've seen the complaints. Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. It's funny because I was introduced to this guy's line of work via Spider-Verse, and every time I hear him talk, I just hear Moses' dad. So that is a bit distracting for me. I get what the point is. You're okay. So I get what the point is in him being D16. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be a young Megatron. He's supposed to be Optimus's best friend and almost like brother figure. And I'm not saying that Brian cannot convey that. Clearly, he's conveying that. Like, I do love the scenes when he's talking to Orion, and him and Chris Hemsworth. Get back to him. Put a pin in him for now. I do love his chemistry with Chris. I think him and Chris have some great, genuine moments, and I'm getting the strong feeling that, okay, these two are going to be what carries the film with their interactions. But that being said, yes, no. I feel like
it's the voice itself that's really getting that's really
I feel they needed to modulate his voice, because it sounds to me like because okay, all of the characters in some way, all our three leads have some type of modulation going on. It's faint, but you can hear it. Mainly with Chris by the end. You can definitely hear they've added some modulation to the voice performance. But Brian, it seems like they didn't do that. Like, he's talking clear as day, and it's kind of breaking the illusion and the immersion that Transformers has. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but whenever a Transformer character is speaking, because they're robots, there's some bit of modulation going on with their voice to where they're either not fully recognizable or you can make out what they're saying just enough to where it feels, powerful. It feels larger than life.
Yeah.
And Brian doesn't have that. He's just speaking clearly with no modulation, and it kind of is distracting, I won't lie. Especially when they're first talking.
It's it's especially bothersome because like the whole idea is that with this being Orion and D16, this isn't like Optimus and Megatron. I mean, like Chris Hemsworth himself has said like his voice is kind of like as the movie goes on, he's gonna like kind of work into that, like he's gonna like evolve his voice as the movie goes on to what we're more familiar with someone like Optimus. Kind of that Peter Cullen-esque voice, and we kind of hear it in the trailer, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. But with D16,
with Megatron, we don't, and I'm distracted by that because like I can't listen to this voice and imagine that it'll evolve into something more along the lines of like Frank Welker.
No, neither can I. And maybe this is just me, but I feel like okay, Brian is so nice. He's a very nice actor. So it's like trying to have a baby face play the villain. It just doesn't work. They're trying they're trying everything they can to make you feel like they can be a villainous presence, but it just doesn't work. Now, unless the idea, like hypothetically, let's say if there's a Transformers 2, then
I think they have said they're trying to make this into a trilogy.
Okay, well, say there's a Transformers 2. Then maybe the idea is then they'll have Brian kind of evolve his voice. But I've noticed with Brian, because Brian just has his voice, he there doesn't seem to be any subtlety that he can do. It's very difficult for him to try and evolve or shift his voice. So maybe the only way you could kind of see him become Megatron is if he kind of deepens his voice. Because I know he can deepen his voice, so maybe that's the idea, that he could deepen his voice over time as he becomes Megatron, and then for extra effect, you can add the modulation post-recording and tweak it a little bit to where there's a faint hint of the person that was D16, but now it's all Megatron. So maybe kind of like Darth Vader, where every time where the two times it's been done, you hear James Earl Jones's voice, but every time the helmet is damaged, you hear a little bit of Anakin Skywalker. So maybe with Brian, I don't know. That would just be cool. I definitely want to give Brian the benefit of the doubt. I want to just say maybe this is just the fault of the trailer and how it's done, but then you get that great point that you brought up that I guess, fuck it, now I might as well bring it up. Then you have Chris Hemsworth legitimately evolving and deepening and kind of, no pun intended here, but he's literally transforming his vocal performance into what is close enough to a young G1 Peter Cullen.
Yeah. Which, I mean, okay, I guess if we're going to just talk about that real quick, might as well rip the Band-Aid off right now. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth. Who had all the doubt casted on him that he could play Optimus because, Chris is somewhat similar
Chris is an Australian actor. He can only do he can only do an American accent. That's it. That's all he can do. So we were all just afraid he was just going to use his Thor voice, which isn't a bad voice. That actually is a good voice to use. But we were all just afraid he wasn't even going to try and put in the effort to capture the younger essence of Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
But then, like you said,
boy, were we wrong.
Yes, exactly. Like you said, that's clearly not the case. Throughout this
like,
trailer,
holy shit.
okay,
I,
look, if this movie, if he sells us like he's selling us now, and if this movie does well, like God forbid anything happens, but I kind of think Chris should take over as the voice of Optimus in most mainstream movies. In terms of mainstream movies, have him take over as the voice. He's clearly showing that he has range with Optimus.
Yeah, there's some lines that he says that I forgot for a second that was even Chris Hemsworth. Like when Orion says it's the classic line we all knew it was gonna be in the movie, the whole more than meets the eye thing. We all it's gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. But when he says it, I'm like, oh holy shit, that's Chris Hemsworth. What? Like that doesn't sound anything like Chris Hemsworth. But I'm okay with that. It good.
Yeah, it good. I agree. I think the end. The further we go into the trailer, the more and more we hear how much range his voice is going to have.
Yeah.
And
I've also heard.
We clearly.
I've also heard, and this was probably said in like an interview or something. I didn't watch all the interviews leading up to this, so I don't know the source on this, but just bear with me. I've heard that Chris actually worked alongside Peter to get the voice right.
Okay.
So when I heard that, I was like, okay. Like this was before the trailer came out. So I was like, well, I heard that for the first time. I was like, maybe I was a bit, maybe it was a bit premature to react that way when I saw the casting list for the first time. Because like when I made a tweet about it like the day that the cast got announced, and I specifically called out Chris Hemsworth because I was like, really? Like I specifically said since this is meant to be like younger versions of these characters, I'm not like super against not getting Peter Cullen or Frank Welker. But I was like, but really? Chris Hemsworth? Of all people?
Yeah.
Well, I feel sheepish.
Well, I think it comes with the territory of, look, these are when I guess we'll just call it the Chris-a-sons. Whenever you have the three Chris's who have just been doing MCU work, you kind of, and they say what their next project's gonna be to keep them on top and relevant. There's some trepidation there because it's like, I don't know if I can picture you as this, like Chris Evans. I'm sorry, like damn it, not Chris Evans. Shit, there's so many Chris's. Well, you know which one I'm talking about.
Well, Chris Evans does kind of apply to this.
Yes, no, because Chris Evans, when he was announced to play Buzz Lightyear, okay, I can see that. But okay. And then you hear his voice, and it's just Chris Evans doing his Captain America voice for his Buzz Lightyear.
I admittedly haven't seen the movie yet, but I saw I've seen the initial trailer, like the first trailer they released.
Yeah.
I saw that a lot. That trailer was really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when I heard his voice, I was like, I don't think I remember. I could be wrong, but I don't remember hearing about Chris Evans being in the movie until that trailer came out, or at least like around that time anyway.
Yeah.
So when I heard it, I was like, You know what? Okay, I can see it. Um,
Yeah, but then there's the obvious one, Chris Pratt,
yeah,
who's
Chris
just
Pratt. That was
been
fun.
yeah. Now he's Mario now. Now he's Garfield. And it's just like the voice
Daddy.
just does it again. Yeah, he's Garfield. Like Garfield's movie is coming out soon. And but you hear the voice, and you're just like, okay, but I can't see it. So with Chris Hemsworth, it was more or less that same thing. But then when you actually watch this trailer and the movie itself, you'll see that oh no, he's actually going to be putting in the work because he understands he understands the huge burden he's got on his shoulders that he's voicing Optimus Prime. Like this character means a lot to millions and millions of fans around the world. So he has to make sure that okay, he can't half-ass this. He's got to fully commit. So I do like that. Okay, he's clearly playing it up. And I love that his version of Ryan Pax is a little bit of a he's not a thrill seeker, but he's definitely somebody who wants to explore the outer reaches of Cybertron, and he's got the makings of a good potential leader. And I love his interactions with D16. They're very, very good. But then I feel like maybe this whole thing is balanced out because as much as Brian doesn't really nail the sound of what Megatron will ultimately become, then you have Chris who actually is nailing that. So it feels like we're just balanced here.
Yeah, a little bit. I got to the part where where they're starting to transform for the first time.
Yes, that part.
Freaking, where's my head?
Yeah, where's my head? And that just goes back to what I said. They're transforming for the first time, and it's always, I guess, the writers just had a question of, you ever wondered what would happen if you transformed for the first time? Like, how would that go?
Yeah. Well, here you go, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, I just kind of assumed that, like, I mean, at least this is the case in like a few of the comics, I'm pretty sure. But I just kind of assumed like, cause in the comics at least, Transformers are born with their alternate modes, and they like they like got their jobs in society, depending on what they got, you know, like. That was the whole corrupt nature of Cybertron at all. So I just kind of assumed that them transforming is about as easy as us breathing.
Exactly.
Like it just kind of happens. But and maybe for other versions of these characters that is the case, but it's definitely not here.
Yes.
Also, it looks like D16 turns into a tank. Thank God.
Yes.
Or at least, like, I mean, I don't see a tank barrel, but like it looks like he has the makings of turning into a tank.
Yeah, because you see his leg and everything.
Yeah. At this point, I think we've just all kind of established that the tank is basically Megatron's new de facto alt mode, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Same.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, this shot of Bumblebee crashing into rocks and then his wheels popping out, that's funny.
Yes, it is. I do. I like it. I like what they're doing with that. With their ultimate modes, and it definitely look. You can definitely see the money on screen when they transform.
Yeah. What is this like Cthulhu-looking thing.
That's what I'm wondering too. Like, this is very interesting.
Also, I think the guy that it's holding, I think that's actually meant to be Sentinel Prime.
Oh, okay.
At least I think. Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously we don't know, but oh, actually, did we forget to mention that Alpha Trion's in this movie, and he's voiced by freaking Lawrence Fishburne, which is amazing.
Yes, I believe we did. So yeah.
Like that was the one that like I mean I didn't really have much comment on anyone else aside from Chris's Optimus or Orion. But when I saw that Lawrence Fishburne was going to be Alpha Trion, I was like, okay, wait, that's genius actually.
Yeah, no, that's very good. I like that.
So yeah. Oh, and then okay, we get the shot of Alita in action. And my God, it's great.
Yes, it's great to see. It's great to see Alita in something Transformers mainstream.
Yeah, just the action here, like the choreography here is so good. Like she kicks a guy and then uses her leg to like kick up a gun and fire it. I'm like, ah, it's so cool.
That is awesome.
Also, it took me a rewatch just before we started recording to realize that all these like drones you see around, they look a lot like the Viacon troopers from Prime, which I think is a neat attention to detail. It kind of it makes it feel like I mean Prime is pretty huge, but it kind of makes it feel like this movie's kind of pulling from like just about everything, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, hell, talking to Prime. Later on in this trailer, we see who else but freaking Arachnid. Like, what?
Oh god.
Like, okay, that threw me completely for a loop. And I mean, granted, we see her for like 5 frames, but and we don't get like a super great look at her. But she looked like from the shot we do get, she looks pretty identical to how she looked in Prime.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say there definitely is some visual there definitely is some visual similarities between these designs and something like Prime and Fall of Cybertron.
Yeah.
So clearly, the animators once did they you can tell they're fans of the franchise.
Oh yeah. No, oh yeah.
The concept designers probably had a great time trying to come up with designs for these characters.
Probably. And then the little next shot is I'm calling this Starscream and the Waves.
Yes.
And my God, they look so good.
Yes, it looks great.
Like there was a name at the end of the trailer that we didn't see in the initial casting. It's like Steve Buscemi, I think is.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
He's gonna supposedly Steve Buscemi will be the voice of Starscream.
Yeah. I had actually heard like through the grapevine that apparently because a lot of these movies whether they're live action or animated or whatever, they would get voice actors to do like initial readings or something to kind of like give the, because a lot of these bigger movies they get the celebrity actors so what would happen is they would get voice actors to do the lines, and they would kind of get the celebrity guys to kind of be like, this is kind of what we're going for, like just do that, yeah.
Yes.
Um, hell, I won't spoil it because I know you haven't seen it, but Rise of the Beast has something like that. And one of them accidentally made it into the final product. Whoops.
Oh boy.
It's not that distracting, but it kind of makes like a weird discourse. Not discourse. That makes it sound like there's like controversy behind it. There isn't. It's one of those like if you remember that scene in well, I shouldn't say of course you remember the scene in the '86 movie when Unicron is reformatting everybody.
Yes.
There was this big discourse on like because one of the like one of them is like one of the Insecticons, I forget who, and one of the Seekers becoming Cyclonus in his armada. There was this big discourse on like, I think it was God, if I went back to the scene, I'd be able to pick them out. But I think it was Skywarp and one of the Insecticons. Like, did they become Cyclonus? The discourse with Rise of the Beast is basically kind of like that. Like not a super big deal, but still.
Yeah.
But anyways, I bring this up because I had heard through the grapevine that the original voice for Starscream in this movie was going to be Tom Kenny.
Oh.
And I wonder if that's the actual story. Because if you remember, Tom Kenny was the voice of. Because if you remember, Tom Kenny was the voice of Starscream in animated.
That's right, he was. Yes.
So, good for thought, I guess.
Not sure. Yeah, food for thought.
Also, there's a dinosaur here. What the hell? When did this show up? I did miss this. Like, man, am I glad I'm going to this trailer in slow motion. Is that Alpha Trion? No way. Wow, it's weird. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It looks like him, but I can't tell.
I totally missed that. On my, I mean, those shots go by like super quick, so that's probably why. Anyways, and then B gets a battle mask.
Oh, yep, that's right. Yep. B gets a battle mask.
And apparently, it's so tough that the drone that punched him in the face broke his hand punching him. I didn't notice that.
Yes.
And then Knife Blades in. Well, whoops.
Whoopsie.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I know that these shots are probably like edited together for this trailer, but I kind of hope that that Orion's response, like, I can see that, is actually a part of the movie and actually a response to B's knife hands, because that's kind of funny.
That is, yes.
But it's probably not. Nah, he probably said that with a different context.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not gonna lie, this logo reveal, I don't know why, but the vibe I immediately got was Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I just think that's cool. It's an
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, then we get to the shot you were kind of talking about with B in the knife hands.
Yeah. Looks so good.
Yeah. I can't wait to learn the context of this.
Me neither.
I can't get over how they were kind of like dingy and dirty in their original forms, but these new forms are so shiny. They're so
Yes,
nice
I
to
like
look
that.
at. I love that B was like, what? No, that door was already cut down. Right? Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know which one of these two is giving me that vibe, but immediately after I stopped recording my reaction, I went back to this shot, and for whatever reason, one of these guys sounds like freaking Kermit.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that came to mind. Well, I have an idea, but but I immediately thought of that, and I just could not stop laughing. Because just the idea of one of these like random guys being voiced by Kermit just is, I don't know why that's so funny to me. But yeah, and yeah, that's the trailer.
Yep, that's the trailer. I have hopes. I want Josh Cooley, who's directing this movie. He directed Toy Story 4, but he also wrote Toy Story. I'm sorry, he also wrote the first Inside Out movie.
Yes.
So I really hope that this movie can. I do hope this movie is good. Like, I'm not asking for it to be great. I just want it to be good.
Yeah.
If it can do that, then I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, just like overall, someone who was very hesitant going into it, like after hearing so much about it, watching the trailer, I'm actually kind of excited now.
Yeah.
So good on you, Josh Cooley.
Yeah. Good on you. I hope this movie. I hope this movie does well because it's coming out in this. Well, it's probably going to do pretty good because it's coming out the same day as DreamWorks' The Wild Robot. So there you go. You got two robot movies going against each other. So that's going to be fun.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, they're both. It was moved up to September 20th. So
September 20th.
that's. So that means I'm probably going to have to fight to try and go see both of them. Maybe do a double screening. I don't know, or maybe just see the Wild Robot first and then see the Transformers one because I'm more excited about the Wild Robots. But still. And who knows? If the movie's good, maybe we'll come back here and talk about it.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I'm not looking for anything like. I'm not looking for like a blockbuster. I'm so tired of blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking for like this big, huge, like this better be like the best movie ever sort of thing. No, I just want to have fun.
Exactly.
That kind of looks to me like what this trailer's gonna, what this movie's gonna be. Just fun, and I'm okay with that.
That's all we need right now. We just need fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you talked about the competition it's got with the Wild Robot. That's better competition than what Sonic 3 is gonna get.
Oh yeah.
Because Sonic 3 comes out the same day that Mufasa movie comes out, and like
Yes.
I remember when they like gave like a frame of that movie. It's like, yeah, this movie's coming out on, what was it, December 20th, I think.
I think so. Yeah, December 20th.
And literally everybody on my timeline was like, all right, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch Sonic 3. Yeah, I this is a complete side note, but I guess it's kind of related since it's Paramount. I just love that Sonic movies and the upcoming Knuckles show. Or at least upcoming by the time we're recording this. Anyway, I have no idea when the hell this video is coming out.
Yeah.
They come out on the same day that something else comes out that nobody gives a shit about. Like Sonic 1 had like Birds of Prey, I think. Like it was Sonic 1 and
Yes, it
Birds of
did.
Prey, Sonic 2 and Morbius.
Yep.
Knuckles and that Velma show that nobody wants to watch. And now Sonic 3 and Mufasa. It's like you love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. Will Sonic streak end? We'll see.
But anyways, the fact that we moved on to Sonic means we're probably done talking about Transformers.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. So, with that being said, yeah, I don't really have anything more to add. So,
Just let us know if it. Yeah, go ahead, you do it.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the trailer, and are you excited for this movie? I say let us know. Nobody's gonna watch this. Nobody's gonna watch this video.
If this video gets 10 views, we'll do more of these. Come on, guys, 10 views, 10 views, no balls. Come on.
I mean, we gotta find something to do.
Yes.
At least for the time being.
Yes, agreed. I got some ideas about that.
Yeah, now watch. I mean, I guess to date this, we're recording this. What's the date today? Like April 23rd. Yeah. And I didn't want to make this. I didn't want to bring up Death Battle in this, but I guess since I have to, literally in like less than an hour, we're getting the last Death Metal cast under Rooster Teeth.
Yep.
And we're, fingers crossed we hear something about that.
Hopefully.
Now and watch because because we're recording this so and that's coming up. I say well, we gotta find something to do. At least for the time being. Watch this cast come out, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's still gonna take a little bit, but we got someone, or someone got us, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh cool, but we don't have to wait that long then. I make it
hopefully.
I say we got to do something to hold us over, and I make it sound like we're gonna be waiting longer than we probably actually are.
Yeah. Well, we should probably get going because now we're getting on a tangent.
Yeah. I really should at one point make an update video being like, hey, what do you guys want to see from me? Because I really don't have. I'm really just kind of throwing ideas at a dartboard and being I'll do this right now. I did that. I did the reaction to this trailer. We got this discussion video on this trailer. I've got recording sessions from Ruby Grimm Eclipse. Me, Mate, Sean and Gin Okami played it a couple weeks back. Me and Z-Dog are talking about playing Ace Attorney. So I've got some stuff, but what do you guys want from me? Like, what do you guys actually want me to do? Because I'll do it. I don't give a shit. But yeah, anyways, tangent. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're excited for this movie. And maybe when the movie comes out, we'll come back and talk about it.
Yes.
But with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye.